Hey gamer friends, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Josiah,
And
and
we
we
are
are
ready
ready
to
to
roll.
roll. It's time for the next installment of our top 50 games of all time. This is our top 30 to 21.
Oh, it's getting good.
It's getting good. We're in the middle. Yeah, I've had so much fun making this list and making these videos.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
It's a lot more fun than I expected to have with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to see what your list is because we don't know what each other's list
That's
is.
right.
And so there have been some really big surprises for me on your list. And I think
Definitely.
vice versa.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we made our list through Pub Meeple, connected it to BGG and all the games that we had ranked, and then we ranked those games. But then I kind of finagled my list, probably maybe a little bit more than yours.
Yeah, I actually didn't finagle mine at all. I liked how it came out.
Okay, I moved a few things around, but not very many. It does a really good job of the order. And then just a little caveat: these are our favorite games as of this moment. So March 2025, these are my favorite games. If you ask me next month, some of them may change, and that's okay. We're okay with that.
It is.
We didn't have any rules as far as how many plays we had to have of the game before we put it on our list. This is like, what do I want to play right now?
Yep.
And so,
and in what order?
That's it.
Yep. And this is verifiably objective for me.
Yes, it is the absolute best list for me.
Yes.
Okay. And so we are starting. I think it's your turn to start.
Okay, yeah. So my number 30 game is Kinfire Delve.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. You might have heard her talk about this on a previous video in this series, but it's a card game where you are working cooperatively to delve down into a well, fighting all the way down till you get to the bottom where you fight the big bad evil guy. There are 10 health that you share. And so it's a tough game to make it all the way down to the bottom and defeat the boss with only 10 health total.
Yes.
Between you. And but it's really fun. I love the deck aspect of it. It's just a really great game.
Yeah, I love it. I've already talked about it. It's so much fun. So good choice.
That is my number 30, Kinfire Delve.
My number 30 is a game that I don't think you've ever played.
Okay.
And it is called My Shelfie.
Oh, I definitely haven't.
I have had so much fun. Okay, we don't own this game. This is what I've played on BGA. And I've played it with lots of different people on BGA that I don't know. But it's been so much fun. I enjoy the puzzle aspect of it. So you are drafting these, I don't know, some of them are books or cats or different things that go on shelves. And you have to place them into a grid. And it reminds me of Connect 4, if you remember Connect 4 in a way, except of course you're not connecting 4, but you are sliding them down in. And so you have to make groupings of certain colors. There's objectives of certain designs that you can make, and everybody's going for those. And then you have a personal objective. If you get a certain tile in certain places, you earn points. And so it's just a tile placement puzzly game, and I really have enjoyed playing it on BGA.
Interesting.
So yeah, that is my number 30, My Shelfie.
My number 29 game is Grand Austria Hotel.
I love it.
Yes.
I love Grand Austria Hotel.
Such a good game. You are running a hotel and you are competing against other hotel owners to bring in guests, treat them with drink and food that they want, and then put them in their rooms. That's essentially the game. It's a deck building game. There's a deck building aspect to it. And then also there's a really cool mechanism where there's a pile of dice, depending on the player count. You roll those dice, and then you sort them by their number. And each number does a different action. And so the dice tell you how many of each action is available to take.
That's right.
And then you take turns drafting those actions. and then doing them. And it's really, really fun.
Sometimes it's really hard because you really need to do something and you can't because there were no dice rolled in that number.
That's right.
And so you're trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to maximize my points or to figure out how to get what I need done?
Yeah.
And so, but I have to go by what the dice rolled. And so sometimes that's hard.
Yeah, and it's fun.
It is.
Yeah, and sometimes then the opposite happens where it's like, okay, there's 4 of this action.
Yes.
I get to do it 4 times. And maybe I don't want to do it 4 times, but I have those available to me.
That's right.
And so, yeah, it's really fun. There's points, bonus points that you can score based on how many red or yellow or blue hotel rooms you've filled up and things like that. Great game. Really, really good. And that is my number 29, Grand Austria Hotel.
My number 29 is Stamp Swap. And Stamp Swap, again, is new to us this year. And I have had a lot of fun playing Stamp Swap. I enjoy the different stamps that come out. I like that some of them are face up and some of them are face down. So you don't always know exactly what you're drafting.
Yep.
I like that you earn points in different ways and you get to decide kind of when you're going to earn those points because you are basically fulfilling one of the objectives each round, but you get to decide when you're going to fulfill that objective.
That's right.
So I really enjoy that aspect. I think it just has so many really good decisions that have to be made. You are placing stamps into your grid or on your paper. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's in your grid. And so, you want to do it in certain collections to make points as well. So I don't know. I just love the decision making in this game. And then, of course, we've talked about before, but it's the I split, you choose mechanism that we were new to. And so I draft all these stamps, then I split them up, and then someone's going to take half of my stamps, and then I'm going to take half of someone else's stamps. And so that is like, okay, now I have to figure out how to make these stamps work on my board. So lots of good decisions. That's what I really like about this game.
It's a good game. It didn't quite make my top 50.
Yeah, I understand that. I didn't think that it would.
It is fairly high. It missed out not by very much.
Okay, so it's in your top 100?
It's in my top 100 for sure. But it didn't quite make my top 50. I do enjoy the game. It just is, I think, sometimes a little bit slow.
Right. I could see that.
Yeah. And so, but for all the reasons that you mentioned, I really enjoy them. I love the I Split You Choose. And I like the building out of your collection and how you arrange it so that you can maximize the points. I love that in the sort of round objectives, everyone's going to have there's none that are taken away from you.
Right.
So you can literally do them in any order. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I have to do this one now because somebody might take it. There's none of that. You can do any of them in any order. I love that. And so, yeah, I think it's a really good game.
Well, then that is my number 29, Stamp Swap.
This is going to really surprise you.
Okay, we'll see.
My number 28 is Castle Combo.
What?
It is.
I did not even think this would be in your top 50.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just like in many games before this, the first time I play it, it doesn't always click.
Yeah, it didn't hit
for me. But when this is one of those games that I continue to think about after playing.
Got it.
And I really want to get it back on the table so badly because I've been able to think through what I did, how I could have changed to score better, and how to play the game better. And it has just been in my mind since we played it.
Wow. Okay. Have you tried it on BGA yet?
Nope, I haven't tried it on BGA.
It works well on BGA. I've played it once.
Yeah, I might have to do that. But I want to get it out on the table for us again.
That sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah, I really like the puzzle of comboing up and down and sideways.
Me too.
And really good. It's just really fun.
I cannot believe this one is so high on your list. It's because you want to get it back out. And that's why it made it so high.
And it's because it won't leave.
Yeah.
It won't leave my mind.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking about it.
Okay.
Over and over again. So anyway, That is my number 28 castle combo.
My 28 was on one of your previous lists.
Okay.
And it is Captain Flip.
Oh, okay.
Captain Flip, I have played so many games of Captain Flip. I mean, it's probably an embarrassing amount of Captain Flip at this point. And so
you've even entered a couple of tournaments.
I've entered Captain Flip tournaments. Yes, I have had so much fun playing this game. And I'm like, when I think I'm like, I'm getting good at this game, I'm really not, because it's just kind of the luck of the tiles sometimes, and you just can't do anything about it. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, it's one of those that I've just really enjoyed this year playing, and that's probably why it's so high on my list. I don't know that this one will have the staying power on my list to be this high. I have a feeling that after a while it'll probably start falling.
Yeah.
But it's just been a really good game to play, and I've had a blast with it. And we'll see at the end of the year, this could potentially be our most played game of the year. I don't know, but because it's so fast and you can play so many games.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all of that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is my number 28, Captain Flip.
My number 27 is, I know, going to be higher on your list.
Okay.
It's Sagrada.
Yes, we will see it later.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a dice drafting game where you pull out a certain amount of dice from the bag based on the player count. You roll those. They're different colors. Mm-hmm. And then you have to place them in your, I think, 5x5 grid. Mm-hmm. And there are some elements inside the grid that you have to keep that are rules, boundaries. So like there's certain parts where you have to place a 6 here. I have to place a red here. I have to place a yellow here.
Right.
And you can't have the same color being face to face, either side by side or up and down, and the same for numbers.
Right.
You can't have them diagonally.
Yes.
Right. And so you have to build out this puzzle in front of you and try and score based on group scoring points, victory points. And then also there's a personal in-game objective that you have that you're trying to score. And so anyway, it's just a lot of fun. There's a really cool mechanism in the drafting order that I really like. And it's the first player drafts first, and then it goes around to all the other players, and then the last player drafts twice. And then it comes back around to the first player, and the first player drafts last.
Right.
I really like that. It builds a lot of suspense and anxiety sometimes.
Yes.
Because the dice you want, or maybe the 2 dice that you have that you could play, may not be there when it comes back around to you.
And then you're like, now what do I do?
Yeah. And it's really, really fun. I love this game. I know that this one is maybe, I don't think you think it's as relaxing as I do, but I
do not think it is relaxing.
I think it's a really relaxing game.
Yeah. I think it is. It's like you said, it can be stressful sometimes. And sometimes I am trying really hard to figure out how to make certain dice work. There are times when it is more relaxing when, everything just kind of works out and you can just do it and easily get your puzzle complete. But then there are other times where I'm like racking my brain trying to figure out, okay, maybe if they take this one, maybe I can make this one work, but then I'm definitely going to need a certain color here,
Yeah, that's the part of it that I love the most.
Yes. No, me too. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't make it relaxing.
Oh, yeah. I find it very relaxing, yeah. Anyway, so great game. Love it so much. Recommend it to anyone. It's not hard. I mean, there's some challenges to it that maybe if you're not a gamer, it may take a minute to figure out.
Yeah, but most people don't have a problem with it.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah. We've introduced it to new people, and nobody's had a problem with it. I think they've all had fun with it.
And so, great game. It's my number 27, Sagrada.
All right. My number 27 is also new to us.
Okay.
Very recent. And it is called Slay the Spire.
You're wrong. Do your list again. Make it again. You're wrong.
Yeah. I know this will be higher on your list, but Slay the Spire has been a really fun experience for us. We've had a good time playing it, and it is a deck builder. You can actually, it came with card sleeves because the cards are 2-sided, And you can actually at times upgrade your cards. And when you do, you take them out, flip them over, and they're an even better card. You are fighting up this little pathway.
Right.
And so it tells you what enemies you have to fight when you get to there. And then you may have a campfire where you can relax, which means you get healing, and then
or upgrade.
Yeah, or upgrade. And there's events that you run across which allow you to do different things. And so it's just really fun. You can play them as a one-off game, or you can kind of play it like campaign style and go through all the different acts. And so it's been really fun. Right now, we're kind of playing it campaign style. Yep. We have gone through Act 1 and Act 2, but we lost Act 2 at the very end. We were like killing it.
Oh, yeah.
And then lost at the end.
Yeah.
So that was a hard loss.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we've been playing through that, and it's been a lot of fun. So that is my number 27, Slay the Spire.
My number 26 is not going to be on your list, I don't think.
Okay.
It's Cubitos.
It did not make my top 50.
Yeah, I figured. It's a dice building game where you are purchasing dice. You have a set of starter dice, but they're not very good. Mm-hmm. And then you purchase dice as you go, and so you're building your dice pool more and more. Yeah,
each dice color has a certain power that it can do in that game.
Yes. And so there's a kind of like a hand of dice that you then have access to, that you pull from your deck, I should say, your deck of dice. You pull your hand out, you get to roll that, and then it goes in your active dice that you have, and then it goes into your discard, and then you keep rotating in that order. The most fun part of this game is the push your luck element.
Always, you love the push your luck.
Yeah, for sure. So the dice that you're rolling, if you get at least 3 faces, then from that point forward, you have the potential to bust.
That's right.
You roll your dice, you pull out all your faces that you save, you can roll the rest of your dice. If you roll all blanks and you have at least 3 faces, you bust. And you don't get to play.
That's right.
And so it's really fun to try and get as many dice faces as you can without busting.
Yeah, this is a racing game.
It's a racing game.
So you're trying to go along a track.
Yeah.
And trying to go as fast as you can.
Yep.
And so, you're trying to build up your dice pool so that you can go faster on the track.
Yep. And it's super quirky.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. Super weird art, but I love it.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
It is.
And
everything's a cube.
Yes,
because
everything
it's Cubitos and everything's a cube. And it's great. I really love it. Again, it's not one that I'm going to play over and over again. Right.
But I love pulling it out and revisiting it.
Yeah.
A lot. So, that is my number 26 Cubitos.
We probably should take that one next year to Christmas if we think about it, because I think that there would be a lot of people who would enjoy playing Cubitos.
Absolutely.
So, something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
My number 26 is Aquatica.
Yep.
Aquatica is an engine builder. That's basically what it is. You are conquering different locations, and then you have this board that you can slide cards into, and that might trigger you to flip one of your mana rays that then has an action as well. And so there's just this engine that starts getting built. And then once you hit certain criteria, you trigger the end of the game. And so that's been really fun. There is a deck building element, but it is like you're not like building up a strong deck or something, but every once in a while you can purchase a card to add to your deck. And there is a way that once you play these cards that have your actions, you can take an action to get all of your cards back into your hands.
Yep.
And so I have really enjoyed every single one of our plays of Aquatica. I really like it a lot. And we have not played with any of the expansions, so this is just the base game. It is that high on my list because I really enjoy it.
Yeah, this one did not make my top 50.
I did not think that it would. It is my number 26, Aquatica.
My number 25 is Distilled.
This low on your list.
It is.
I thought this would be higher on your list.
Yeah.
It's a great game. It's 25. It's not like it's a bad game.
It is a game where you're making alcohol. It also has a bit of a deck building element to it. but you are gathering resources, whether that be water or yeast or wheat or alcohol, whatever it is, and you're building them into a deck. You shuffle it and you take off the top and the bottom, and then whatever's left over, you try to make alcohol out of it.
Yeah, you kind of have to see what you made.
Yeah.
If you made what you were going for or not,
That's right.
based on what was taken off.
That's right. Or is it just moonshine or vodka or something like that? Really fun game. And there's a market of workers you can buy and items and
kind of upgrades.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And so really super thematic. And you can age alcohol to make it more points, and the aged alcohol scores way better. There's a signature alcohol. Each person has a signature alcohol that if you make, it scores you the most points.
Right.
And so anyway, you're just trying to make alcohol. Pretty simple and really fun.
Yeah, this is one of those games that we did try on BGA, and I would say this is a way better game in person. I don't know why, but I love it way more in person than on BGA.
It is better.
So just, I don't know what you guys think out there, but that is what I thought when I played it. I was like, this is an in-person game for me. I probably won't play it on BGA.
Yeah, so that is my number 25, Distilled.
My number 25 is a game we've actually talked a lot about in a lot of our videos. It is Dice Throne.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Dice Throne. It is still in my top 25 games of all time. We've played, I don't even know how many games of Dice Throne we've played. A lot. And I love it because you are battling. It is 1v1. We like battlers. We like to hit ourselves against one another and play. And you get to roll a bunch of dice, and you're trying to figure out what you can do with those dice rolls. And you're trying to make the best hand of dice, basically.
Right.
And then you can play cards to mitigate your dice rolls or your opponent's dice rolls. And you can sometimes upgrade your board and make it a little bit easier to get, or maybe a higher attack or something.
Right.
And so it's just really fun. And certain characters are better than others for sure. But we have just had so much fun playing Dice Throne. We recently got the new X-Men Dice Throne, and we've played 4 of the characters so far.
4 of 8.
4 of 8, yes. That's been really fun so far. I've enjoyed it. I'm not going to give away who my favorites are yet because I want to play through all of them first.
Yeah.
Besides the X-Men characters, can you think of a character or two that you really enjoy on Dice Throne?
I love playing the monk.
Oh, yeah.
I love playing the monk. I also enjoy the paladin a little bit.
Okay.
And the moon elf is fun.
The moon elf is one of my all-time favorites. I love playing the moon elf. I don't know why. It's just fun.
Yeah. The gunslinger also for me is really fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love this game. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So that was my number 25 is Dice Throne.
My number 24 is a game that we've already talked about on a previous video on your list.
Okay.
It's The Initiative.
Oh, this is the one you got mad at me about.
Yeah, it's such a good game. We had such a fun experience. I can't believe it was not higher on your list.
Okay, I have to defend myself a little bit on this one though. Because we can't keep going back to it. That's why it's not quite as high.
Well, we can go back to it.
Yeah, in like 5 years when I forget.
Yes. So, okay, that's fair. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Okay.
It's just a game where it's a game within a game within a game kind of thing. We called it Game Inception. And it's basically there's these kids who have this comic book, and they're playing a game inside of that, or they are playing the game, and then we're playing the game with them.
Yeah, so we're playing this game about these kids who are playing a game. Yeah.
in a comic book, and solving puzzles, solving riddles, unlocking the mysteries, all of those things. It is so much fun. It has a legacy feel to it.
Yes.
I loved it so much. I had such a good experience with it. And there are really fun things that I won't spoil.
That's right.
For those of you who want to play it, but go play it.
Yeah,
because it's really
it is a good
it's
one.
a really fun game.
And it worked really well at 2. We don't know what it would be
Right.
like at 4 or 3 or 4. I'm sure it would be fun as well, but it worked really well at 2.
It did.
So, throwing that out there.
That is my number 24, The Initiative.
Okay, my number 24 is Azul Duel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Azul Duel has kind of replaced Azul to me because we didn't play Azul with lots of players.
Right.
And we just played it at 2. And I really, really like Azul Duel. So I didn't think Azul played bad at 2. I thought it was good at 2. And in fact, when it came out with a dual version of the game, I was like, it doesn't really need a dual version of the game.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed it so much more than regular Azul. It's like surprising to me.
Yeah, interesting.
And so that is why it is this high on my list. Because Azul itself might have made the list, but it would definitely not been this high. You are drafting these tiles into your little grid, and one of the things with Azul Duel is you have to put these other little tiles down on your table, and you can kind of turn them to face whichever direction you want, and that's the color you have to put in that column to be able to score it. And so it adds a little extra element there that I really enjoy. And then, of course, it's got a lot of the same elements that you love in Azul. So
it's got a sun and moon aspect to it.
It does.
Which is interesting of where you can pull from and what tokens are there and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that Azul Duel is probably going to eventually be higher to me than Azul, but I've only played it one time.
Oh, okay.
And so I just don't have enough place
in
it to rank it, I would say. And so, but I do think it for sure has the potential to outrank Azul for me. Yeah.
Because we didn't start off playing Azul. I know Azul is one of those games that a lot of people start playing.
Yeah.
And it kind of is one of those that is one of the first games people play when they get into the hobby.
Yeah.
And so that just wasn't us.
Right.
And so we played it later. And so it was like it was a good game, but maybe I didn't really understand all of the hype with Azul.
Right.
And I did love it. I just didn't love it like people love it, But this one I'm like, okay, I kind of am starting to get it because I'm enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
So that is my number 24, Azul Duel.
My number 23 is a game that we just played like a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. It's Challengers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is a tournament-style 1v1 battler where you have a deck and you are trying to basically outpoint the other person. And then the winners of... So we played at 4.
Mm-hmm.
So the winners of those 2 matches played against each other. The losers of those 2 matches played against each other. And you work your way through the rounds until you get down to the final 1v1 match. It's really, really fun. Mm-hmm. Really fun game. And the cards that... So if I lay down one card and it's a 3 or whatever. So the other person has to lay out cards until they have more than a 3.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Equal to. I think equal to
or greater. Yeah. And so then once they beat me, my card goes into the discard section of the map. But then it could have triggers that go off in certain circumstances.
Right.
So other cards may trigger the action of that discarded card.
Yes.
And so it's discarded and you're done with it, but it still can do things for you.
That's right.
Which is really fun to me. The mats that you battle it on are neoprene mats. I love neoprene mats. Yes. They're great. And it has really cool artwork on it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I just really enjoyed it. I had a great experience with it.
Yeah, this one's quirky too.
Yeah. So,
because you're playing all different kinds of characters. Like, they're so random. Yeah, and it's fun. It's meant to be, like, silly and fun and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I would really like to play this with 8 people.
Yeah, this is another one we should put on our list to bring to Christmas next year. So
that would be really fun. Yeah, for sure. And so that's my number 23 Challengers.
Okay, my number 23 is Gloomhaven.
Okay.
Gloomhaven is a game that was kind of, I mean, it wasn't early on in our gaming, but kind of. It was like our very first big campaign game that we ever played.
Yeah.
And
we dove into the deep end.
We did. And it was just such a good experience. The way that the cards played, the way that you fight, the being able to build up your character. These are things that I'd never seen before and were so much fun.
Yeah.
We played through the entire campaign, and then we got Frosthaven, which I'm putting Frosthaven and Gloomhaven in the same number. And so we have not played through all of Frosthaven. We've actually just scratched the surface of Frosthaven.
Yep.
So we still have a lot to do there. But it was just such a good gaming experience that I just felt like it's still up there for me. I think over time this one is going to keep dropping because it doesn't have a lot of the other elements. You know, it is just a dungeon crawler battler. And so I enjoy more of the engine building, and you can combo, like you can, but it's just not the same. So I think it will eventually keep falling for me, but I have really good, not just nostalgia, but just like I really enjoyed my plays of Gloomhaven. Yeah, my experience.
Yeah.
That's my number 23, Gloomhaven.
My number 22 is going to upset Isaac.
Oh, don't upset Isaac. Isaac's our nephew.
Yeah. He's not gonna like this.
Okay.
It's Sea Salt and Paper.
This is that low? Wow. I mean, it's not like it's low. Okay.
You have to remember, this is of all time.
All time. That's right. All time.
So that's really high.
It is.
Out of what, 200 games or more that we have?
It was more than that. Well, I ranked more than just what we have.
Yeah, that's true, because we have BGA plays and stuff like that. So yeah, it is a card game where you are either pulling a card from the discard pile or drawing two cards and discarding. You're trying to make combos of these different, like, crabs or fish or boats, and they do different actions. Like the crabs let you dig through the discard pile to take a card,
right? An
extra card. The fish give you the top card of the deck, things like that. And then there are these other scoring cards like the octopus and the penguin and the shells and things like that, that the more you get of them, the more points they score.
I love the penguins.
Yes. Yeah. And then there are mermaid cards. And mermaid cards let you score bonuses based on how many of the same color you have of a card in your hand at the end of the round. It's that simple.
Yeah, and if you get 4 mermaids, you win regardless. Like, you just win.
Right.
The end.
Which I've only seen happen one time.
I know.
And we have so many plays of Sea Salt and Paper. Like, we have played it a lot. And I've only seen it happen one time.
I've never seen it.
And it was
recent.
You
told me it happened. I don't know.
Isaac can verify this.
I don't know.
My other nephew, Makobi, got it. No, he can't verify because it was before he got there. It happened. My nephew, Makobi, got 4 mermaids.
Okay.
But yeah, it's such a good game. It has massive replayability. I mean, just all off the charts.
Yeah.
I love this game.
And you can take it anywhere because it's a card game.
You can. I think I only have 2 other card games above it, but it was hard to rank it this low. It happened.
It does. It just happens.
So, yeah, that is my number 22, Sea Salt and Paper. Sorry, Isaac.
My number 22 is a game called So Clover.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I was surprised too.
Really high.
I know. I was surprised too. But remember what we said when we were making our list? It was like, what do I want to play? I like it. I want to play it. I have fun with it. This is what I've called before an introvert's party game. It is like you have to come up with clues to get people to be able to guess what you're doing. There is is it a 4-leaf clover? Clover. Yeah, so it's a 4-leaf clover, and these clues line up, and you have to figure out a clue that will help people be able to guess which card goes in which slot. And it is hard sometimes to come up with a good clue for things because they're random words. So it might be like coffee and baby, and you have to figure out, how do I make people guess that this is coffee and baby?
Yeah.
You know, so that makes it difficult. And so you're trying to figure that out. And I love that. I love trying to figure out a really good clue. It makes me feel really clever when I come up with something amazing. And then
It's
also,
funny.
yeah, also, well, it's so clover.
I mean, but it's a play off of
yeah. But it also makes me feel kind of dumb when I can't figure something out. Like, it has both of those aspects. Yeah. But it is really fun to me. And, you know, this, when I think of our list of all time, you know, it's always with like the best player account on the best day, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so when I think about that, I'm like, yeah, I want to play that game again. Yeah. So that was my number 22. So Clover.
That did not make my list.
I didn't think it would.
My top 50. My number 21 game is one that we just recently got and played. It's Nova Roma.
Yeah.
Really fun. Love the theme, first of all. Mm-hmm. It's set in like ancient Roman times. Mm-hmm. But it's a game that is like, has a bunch of little mini games that you get to play inside of it. Mm-hmm. And it is really fun.
It is.
I had such a blast playing this game.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, so there's a grid that has different actions on it. And so you place a meeple on a spot, mm-hmm. and then you get to do the two actions that correspond to that point. And so then that determines what sort of little mini game mm-hmm. you get to play. And you're just trying to do the best of those mini games to build points to win. And so it's so much fun. I love this game.
One of them's like, there's like a deck building aspect, and then one is like a little bit of a race that you're like chariot racing, and then one is like, oh, you're sailing the seas and you have to get so far on your sailing, and then another one's like building buildings. And so there's just so many different things, but it doesn't feel overwhelming because you have two actions that you're taking and you know what they are.
That's right.
And then you can kind of plan ahead too a little bit on that.
It's a game that I thought I was going to be overwhelmed by.
Yes.
Because I don't like 1,000 choices.
Right.
But it's not overwhelming because, like she said, it's determined for you. You just pick the spot that you want the two actions, two actions you want to take. And so, anyway, great game. I loved it a lot more than I thought I would.
I loved it a lot more than I thought I would too.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
So much so that it is my number 21 game, Nova Roma.
All right. My number 21 game is Architects of the West Kingdom.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Love Architects of the West Kingdom. This is higher than Viscounts and higher than Paladins. Spoiler alert. But I really enjoy Architects. It is, to me, it's such a fun game because you have so many workers at the start.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of any other game where you just have like 20 meeples that you get to place right away. And so that's really fun because you place it here, you get a wood. Okay. But then I place another one. Well, now I have two meeples there. So now I get to two wood. And so you get to build stuff up quickly. And there's not a lot of worker placement games where I feel like they're not stingy with resources.
Right, yeah.
And so that's just kind of fun because you're like, oh, I can go here and here and here. And then when you play with lots of people are going to jail, and then you're trying to rescue your people out of jail, and you have to do all these things, and there's a corruption track. So maybe you want to take all of the money, and so you go down on corruption a little bit, and then you got to earn your reputation back up. And anyway, so I just really enjoy every element of this game. Yeah. It's not one that we play all the time, but I would love to get it out once a year and play Architects. I think it's a lot of fun.
I would be down for that. There's also a sort of a black market part to it where you can give up some of your virtue.
Yes, virtue.
To get some element or some resources, I should say.
Yeah, it's like a faster way to build yourself up, but then you're also
going down corruption.
Yeah. A little corrupt.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, I this is not very high on my list.
Right.
But every great once in a while that we get it out and play it, I have recently, more recently, had a good time.
Yes, you have.
There was a time when I didn't like this one at all.
That's true.
But it's grown on me a little.
Yeah. So that is my number 21. It is Architects of the West Kingdom.
And that's it. That is our 30 to 21.
Woohoo!
Yeah, exciting. I can't wait to see what your 20 to 0 are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of your list. So I've had such a blast doing this video series, and I can't wait to do the others.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
And tell us down below in the comments, what are your 30 to 21 games?
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.